Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to use the Nespresso Citiz and Milk. I'll give you a brief overview of the machine and then I'll show you how to make a cup of coffee. So let's get started. Okay, so a basic overview of the machine. We'll start with the front. You've got a little stand here that you put your cup on when you're filling it. You've got two little attachments here. One is for just agitating the milk, and the other one you can use if you want to froth the milk. In the top here is where you put your pods, which we'll cover in a moment. And this is your milk frother. So continuing with the water reservoir, basically if you want to take it off, just slide it out and then you can just hold it under the tap in the fridge filter or whatever water source you want to use. And I'll just put it on, I use a jug. So it's got a little black lid here that you can just take off. Just put that to the side and I'll just use my cup of water that I showed you earlier. Always make sure there's plenty of water in it, depending on how many cups of coffee you want to make. And you can leave this and just top it up as you go. I usually leave it, just fill it up every time I run the kettle or something like that. It doesn't have to be hot water. It can be just cold water because the machine will heat your water for you. At the start of the video, I showed you the two little attachments that go inside the milk frother. This one here is the one you would use for a flat white. It doesn't froth the milk, it just agitates it while it's heating. This is the one that you would use for a cappuccino. The types of milk that work the best for frothing, definitely full cream would be the top of the list. High-low milk works okay as well, skim milk not so much. So it's a little bit challenging to get the light right, but you can see inside the milk frother there's a little ridge. You just slip the little attachments over that. It's magnetised, so it just drops on nice and easily. For the purpose of this video, we're going to use the cappuccino attachment, which was the one with the spring around it. And it just drops on. So now that you've had the overview of the machine, basically it's all go from here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get our milk heated up. So I've just prepared enough milk just for 1 cup of coffee, just for the purposes of the video. Okay, just pop the lid on there, press it down nice and firmly, and there's a little button on the front here, just press that. It goes for about a minute or so and then it switches itself off. So the next thing I'm going to do is put my cup on the little ledge. Just going to put a little bit of sugar in there because I have sugar, cutting down, so not too much. Okay, so you'll see there's 2 buttons on top of the machine. It can be plugged in and left on at the wall. These little lights will be off when you first go to use it. So you just basically press them both down and you'll notice they're both illuminated and they start to flash. All the while the milk is still frothing in the background. So what's happening with these flashing is the water is heating up. So just showing you a little close-up of an espresso pod. This particular one's decaf because I can't have decaf after a certain time of day. There are other manufacturers that do make pods that fit the Nespresso machines. I've tried a few of them and they're not that nice, to be honest. You know, if you don't have these every day, they're actually not that expensive. Okay, so I'm just using a normal size cup. There's a little button here with a small cup on it, so that's for your little short blacks and things like that. But I always use the one on the right, which is what you would use for a flat white or for a cappuccino. So I'm going to press the button with the large cup on it. And while it's filling, The little selector that I chose is flashing just to show you that it's working, but you can obviously hear it. Okay, and just let it finish. At this point I tend to give it a little stir before I put the milk in, just to mix my sugar in. Okay, now you can either leave the cup on there or you can put it down on the table, but I'll put my milk in. Let's take the lid off. And you can see there it's quite frothy because I chose the little attachment with the spring around it. And basically I just tip that in. And then I'm going to get a large spoon and I'm going to put the froth on top. I'll take it off the little ledge to do that. I'll be back in just a moment. So now I've got my cup here sitting on the saucer. And I'm just going to spoon some of that froth in. So this was high-low milk, and as you can see it froths up really, really well. I've noticed some videos say that it doesn't work, but I've never had a problem with it. So very inviting, looks a little bit like an ice cream. And just pile that on top and tip a little bit more liquid in. And I don't know if you like this, but I always put a little bit of nutmeg or a little bit of shaken hot chocolate powder onto it. You do find though that nutmeg seems to make the froth go away really quickly, so start spooning it off really quickly. And there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and there'll be another video next week showing you how to do something else. Thank you.